Good evening, everyone. It is WWI, and welcome to a new series called Art History Class. Well, Art War History Class. And today we talk about French tanks during the First World War, and a little bit about Austria's first uh, tank designer. So, Austria's first tank designer was named Gunther Wolstein. Okay. And, his idea was, the electric chutes, because he needed something that, he wanted something that could defend infantry during the First World, infantry during combat. Because literally every other country had, 75mm howitzers at that time. And so, he looks for something that can shield his soldiers in combat. Hold on, give me a second. I'll put something over the tube in my throat. There, that way I can talk and, play. Anyway, so, he, for centuries, the race between armor and weapons was dominated by cannons. Okay, and the Austrian engineer, Gunther Wolstein, he joined his country's army to do just that, to improve their weapons. But then came the day he saw the modern 75mm howitzer. Hold on. Not all of them were, 75s, but the French howitzers were 75s. And then he realized that every other country had weapons that were just as powerful as theirs. And he realized that if the war broke out, it would bring horrible losses, you know? But there will always be war. Anyways, so he looks for something that can shield, infantry during combat. As the search leads into the Austrian daisy, and he's standing on deck of one of the ships, and he realizes that he could do the same thing for a land vehicle. He'll give them deck steel armor. But, he saw that the torpedoes, which is what his idea was, a torpedo that can drive on ground or on soil. But then he saw that they're propelled by steam engines, which for some reason were too big to use on land or too bulky. I'm not sure what the difference is. To use on land, even though trains at that time used them. And then he goes to the Vienna Auto Show in 1911. And at the booth of Daimler, he saw an armored car. And he yells out, "That's my land torpedo boat." And that's when he learns about the internal combustion engine, and he decides that can be used to propel his vehicles. Anyways, that's my land torpedo boat, he calls. But then, I see a problem. Like any other car, it drives on 4 slim wheels. Which is not ideal for going over terrain. If you're going over terrain, you want wide tires. Or wide wheels. For ground pressure reasons. And, he decides that, he envisions a plate, chain of metal plates connected by joints that would spread out the weight of the vehicle and help ground pressure, especially if you use more than 2 wheels per side, which it would. And, so he designs the motor to shoot, takes his designs to the Austrian War Ministry, but they turn him down, because, I think the curator of the Wellington Tank Museum, said it perfectly. Hold on, let me put that real quick. No, I want audio. Yeah, give me audio. Yeah. There. He said, the curator of the Wellington Tank Museum said this, it's at a time when the military doesn't see any use for this type of weapon. And so he goes to Berlin, and he's rejected too. He's like, I will take my plans to Germany. Surely, people are more modern in their thinking, and I'm sure they will appreciate my ultra pursuits. But he gets turned down there too. Oh, I've been turned down in Berlin too. Hold on. I've been turned down in Berlin as well. Thus, I am forced to hide my plans and shove them in the lowest drawer on my desk. Then World War I begins in 1914. Early summer 1914. And, they thought the war was going to be over within the first couple of months or couple of weeks. But no, this is a war that lasted until almost 1919. Hold on. Let me catch up on it. Where was I? I didn't write anything down. I swear I'm not Joe I don't need to write things down to remember them. Although I should. Anyways. And so, the war breaks out. And within between and 4 million soldiers rushed onto the battlefields of Europe. In just 1 month, between July and December of 1914, 1 million soldiers had died. And Gorstein revised his idea. He said, if only we had the flotilla of these, my Ultra shoots, but we would win this. Or something like that. And, his commander said, his commander said it would take a year to build at least one of them. By that time, we'll long be home victorious. And so he gives up. And then a French general, Jean-Baptiste Estienne, revised his idea. And he said, during our recent attacks, one thing became abundantly clear to me. Victory in this war will belong to whichever country first succeeds at building a cannon onto a vehicle capable of crossing any terrain. And there were already tractors that could tow artillery, but the 75mm howitzers that he wanted to use, they were heavy and they were already very good at getting stuck. And so he decides that he needs a vehicle that can cross any terrain. And he comes up with the design of the Schneider tank. Or a friend of his over at a tank over at a place that manufactures tractors, or I don't know, a weapons designing plant. Let's just leave it at that. They came up with the Schneider tank. Or this very ugly thing. Oh, but it's French. How can it be ugly? It is ugly. And he had to get the idea of a long barrel 75mm gun, but he still ended up using a 75. And it's just a short barrel, 75. Anyways, and it had a blade on the front to cut through barbed wires. Hold on, I gotta catch my breath. Okay. Where was I? No, I'm not Joe. I'm not, I don't have done this yet. I'm going to seek for it. I'm going to seek with confidence. Okay. So, the Schneider thing, it's like any other World War I design. Oh, turret. But that's okay, because the turret wasn't necessary during that time. And, hold on. Maybe I should start writing stuff down. Maybe Joe Biden had the right idea. Who did I hurt? Because I don't care. If you don't like what I have to say, you don't have to watch. But, ooh, 49. Put fish in there. Put the fish on the ball. Or, anyways. Oh, yes, metal goes in there. And, he comes up with the French army orders 400 without objection. And then he saw the Saint Jean a little bit later, which had only 6mm of armor, but it still had the long barrel 75mm howitzer. The idea was to drive close to the enemy trenches and fire close enough to them for the shrapnel to actually take effect and actually deal some damage. Which it looks good on paper, much like the Soviet T-34 medium tank, but in reality it's a disaster. I'm going to show you the sanction one. That is the sanction one. It's hard to do accents with this too in my throat. But I can still try. But the sanction one, had only 6mm of armor, and he thought, because he tested it with his service pistol and the bullet went straight through, and he was like, the papers on my desk would offer more protection. And then, I ordered 400 of them, along with 400 Snyders already in production. Right now we're talking about French tanks, so I'm going to exclude the British tanks and the Germans. So we're doing the Snyder, the Saint Jean, and the Renault FT. And where was Saint Jean? Yeah. And they ordered 400 of them with 400 Snyders already in production. And they decide, Command decides to send him into battle when he's only gotten half of what he ordered. And so he's forced to go into battle with half of his force. So in just a day, half of his units has been wiped out by the German artillery. And many of the soldiers, in fact it was so bad that many of the French soldiers refused to continue the attack because they didn't want to die for nothing, and I can't really blame them. Then Louis Renault, a French industrialist, comes up with Renault FT-17, or he started designing tanks. And even his first drafts were nothing short of brilliant. SGM says. And its most important new innovation was the turret, a rotating turret, which housed a 37mm gun. And, which doesn't sound very big, but can still do a lot of damage, because that's at a time where the heaviest of tanks only had like 30mm of armor. So, anyways. Yeah, its rotating turret was taken straight from Lewis-James motor chutes. And, that allowed it to shoot in all directions while driving. But although shooting on the move was not really a good idea at that time because it didn't have steel-laced guns. But whatever. Gotta deal with what's given to you. Can't ask for perfection. Anyway, so the I ignore that. I swear, if I could actually mute Discord notifications while I was recording, I would. Or if I could figure it out by now. Anyway, so, the French army orders 1,000 of them. And, even countries all over the world start, ordering FT-17s. But, Renault is, patriot. You know, it's unpatriotic to charge your own country to buy tanks, or to buy a weapon in a time of war. Or at least that's how it was seen. But then the Americans start buying, FT-17s. And, then Renault is a businessman, so he's going to take this opportunity to sell the Americans their license to produce FT-17s. And, the Americans did. And, FT-17 for France was a war-winning tank. And it was very fast, too. I think it was actually the first light tank. And 2 crew members were enough to operate, a gunner and a driver. Which is very, efficient. And its small size allowed for more to be produced over a shorter period of time. It was probably cheaper, too. Anyways. And that's the reason the FT-17 was a war-winning tank. Because it's like the T-34, it's only a better T-34. Because it actually worked, and no crew members died when getting out of it. It was actually built by actual people who were experienced builders and not farmers. Yeah, you could produce 3 or 4 FTs and the time it would take you to for this one Saint Sharon or one Schneider. And that is why the FT-17 was a war-winning tank. Alright, good night everyone.